Spoiler alert, the following podcast includes discussions on film that may potentially, intentionally or inadvertently, reveal plot twists, character traits, story details, up to and including endings that might otherwise be considered spoilers. Proceed at your own risk.
You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
Satan, get thee behind me!
These city women are goddamn crazy.
Ow, that...
It all sounds like some bad movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah!
Oh yeah. Good sir, good sir.
Yes, who? What? Who walked in?
Yeah. What happened?
Oh, yeah?
I don't know.
Hello?
You got some of that brain transference serum for me?
Right here I do, yes I do.
What are you drinking there? What's on tap tonight?
Wilson Compound Winery, the German Rügelthurgel.
Oh, I like that one.
A little Klaus Kinski picture there.
Yeah, I'm all out of Wilson Compound wine. I just realized I looked over the other night and I'm like, shit, this thing is empty.
Well, next time I see you, grab a couple. Grab a case.
Okay.
Yes.
To
Welcome
do that.
everybody to Moviesucktastic. I am Scott.
This is Joey.
Yes.
Yes.
And we are here to review movies.
Yes.
Usually bad.
Usually bad. Now, this film is, we're reviewing this week, we're reviewing the 1987 teen body swap comedy, Like Father, Like Son, starring Dudley Moore and pretty much crazy, even at this time, Kirk Cameron. He had just started to transition into Jesus Freak. Wow. You were muted and everything. Oh, there you go.
Pardon me, sir.
Oh, shit.
Excuse me. Well, yeah, he was. This is his first feature film. He was just. He was still on Growing Pains, the show.
Was that show still on at the time, or was it done by this point?
If it was done, it was just done. I'll check that while we're talking.
I could swear that he was trying to transition into like teen heartthrob, you know.
Oh yeah, of course
and
it was.
For whatever reason, God told him that it wasn't the life for him because this was pretty much it for his career.
Well, until he started his whole Christian film company, which is making
makes
money.
Tons of money. But
yeah, making bank on that.
He could have made 10 of these movies.
I don't think so.
I think so.
Now, just to clarify, Growing Pains was 1985 to 1992.
Wow.
So yes, this is definitely during the early stages of Growing Pains.
But what years was he on the show? Because I know in the later years when he went to college, they kind of just talked about him. He wasn't on the show anymore.
It started in 1985. Like Father, Like Son came out in 1987.
Right.
So
okay.
He was on the show.
Well, I think he chose to leave.
Because
he was so.
When this film came out.
Yes, he was on the show. I'm talking about.
That's all I'm saying. That's the only thing I cared about.
That's I'm understanding that.
Okay.
And I'm just talking about how soon after he left the show after this movie because of his quote-unquote career that he decided not to do. Decided not to do that anymore.
What career did he decide not to do? Growing pains?
Well, because he was having a lot of friction between him and his other cast members. And because, he didn't like the whole Hollywood scene. He thought it was... And this is where he's not wrong. Like, fake and disingenuous and sell your soul kind of thing. He was very much against all of that because of his religion.
Unlike... Anyway, and no, he was in the show up to season 7. He's got a credit.
Okay,
he's there.
All right.
So,
I was never a big Growing Pains fan.
Never me neither. Watched the show. But still, there's facts.
Of course. Just the facts, ma'am.
Just the facts.
Just the facts. So I challenged Scott to this based off of his challenge to me of the film Watermelon Man.
Yes.
And the connection I had was. The character in Watermelon Man he's a white man and he wakes up black and he has nothing but problems, and it immediately made me think body swap movies.
Right.
Which this is probably my favorite bad body swap movie. I don't think I like another bad body swap movie better than this one.
You know what? I don't care for this one either, to be honest. And
well, this is my favorite bad one.
I don't know.
I mean, I have the list of all the body swap movies over the years, and I'm just going through the list. There isn't another body swap movie that I like, a bad one, that I like more than this one.
I don't care for Vice Versa either, because Fred Savage I'm not a fan of. And
yeah, and Daniel Stern and...
Yeah, but Judge Reinhold...
Judge Reinhold, that's right.
Yeah, he's too childlike to begin with, so it's not a stretch to imagine him playing a child.
Right.
I mean, Big is probably the best body swap technically movie to come out. Period.
Is that even? That's not even real. I guess it's a body swap.
It's a form of body. It's not the official two people trading places, but it is somebody that is in somebody else's body, technically his own, but as an adult. I mean, if we're gonna, yeah.
Sure, okay. I'll agree that yes, Big is a good body swap movie.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But as far as the bad ones go, like 18 Again.
Yeah.
Not a fan of that one. The Change Up, which is actually quite high, 6.4 out of 10 on IMDb. That movie fucking sucked.
I haven't seen it.
From the CGI scenes with the babies. Oh, dude.
They have CGI babies?
They have CGI babies. Yeah, this is rated I'm very disappointed in the fact that this is so high.
Well, you've got two really popular actors that I like as well, Jason Bateman and Ryan Reynolds.
It's gotta be why.
Yeah, that's it.
It's
people
pretty
like
awful.
because they like the actors.
Then there's All of Me.
That's my favorite.
Which I can't even say that's a bad movie. It doesn't fall into my category of favorite bad body swap movies.
No, All of Me.
So
is not bad.
I don't even count it.
No.
I've never even seen this one. This film called All Screwed Up.
Me neither.
Came out in 2009.
Who's in that?
China Lane, Jake Waldman, Allison Carter, Thomas, Chris Bacchinelli. You know what? It doesn't say it here, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be straight to video.
That's direct to video.
Yeah. So,
yeah. Just looking at the cover.
Seed of Chucky, or the Chucky series.
That's not body swap.
Well, he trades bodies with a doll.
No, he doesn't trade bodies with the doll.
Or he trades. He dies and he transfers
and his soul possesses the doll.
Yeah.
That is a possession, inanimate possession movie. That's right up there with that spin-off from The Conjuring.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, it's on the list, but
yeah.
Whoever
put on that list is wrong.
Dream a Little Dream. Probably my second favorite bad body swap.
I would say Dream a Little Dream is my favorite bad one, just because there's some good actors in that.
Oh, there's a lot of cringe moments in it too.
Oh, tons of cringe, especially like this underage girl with the rack where they keep like putting her in sexual positions. It's like, dude, what is she, 12? This is horrible.
Yeah.
Stop.
Meredith Salinger. And she's not 12. She's actually much older, but she's supposed to play, 16 years old.
Don't do that.
But there's the whole scene with Corey Feldman dancing like Michael Jackson at one point, and she's falling for it. She's like, "Ooh, yeah," and it's like, what the fuck? Even when this movie came out in 1989, I was like, I couldn't watch. I almost had to turn away. It was so cringeworthy. Now, Face Off is on the list. It doesn't count at all.
You know what?
No.
All right, hold on. The big thing with a body swap comedy, and like Father Like Son is one of those, is where the big thing about the film is watching two actors portray one another.
Right.
So yeah, they only swap their faces, but they're made to look like each other, and they're living each other's lives. So
I still don't think
it's a variation of the theme.
Well, then, I'm not going to allow it.
I am.
I'm not.
I am.
I'm not. The original Freaky Friday from '76 and the remake from 2003. Don't care for either one.
And there's
let's see.
There was a made-for-TV sequel to the original Freaky Friday.
Yes, there was. It's on the list. I didn't mention it because it's a TV movie.
Yeah, but it's also based on the book that was the book sequel to Freaky Friday, so it deserves to be mentioned.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to mention this film because it's part of the twist, and I don't like to do that.
What twist?
If I mention the movie, it kind of ruins it. So I'm not.
Okay.
If I mention the movie and that the fact that there's kind of like this like body swap thing happening, then it just ruins the whole movie for anyone that's never watched it. Yeah.
Including it on the list of body swap movies is a spoiler of the film.
Yeah, it's dick move.
All right. I'm with you on that.
Prelude to a Kiss. Alec Baldwin, Meg Ryan. I didn't hate that one. That's the one where Meg Ryan and Alec Baldwin are getting married, and that old man walks up to her and kisses her, and they trade bodies. But you see Meg Ryan. The entire film is only Meg Ryan, this old man and Meg Ryan. Yeah, it's interesting.
Wait. They swap bodies?
Yeah, but they don't know it, or you as the viewer don't know exactly. You know it happens, but Meg Ryan doesn't act. She acts weirdly, but you don't see it from the old man's point of view, where Meg Ryan is kind of like in like the other guy, because he just kind of how do I
have no idea what you're saying.
No, what happens is they're getting married. He goes up to her and asks if he can give her a kiss. She says yes. Then all of a sudden she feels like weird, and she just slowly gets weirder. And you find out later on, you kind of suspect it. It's not like it's a surprise or anything, that he's hopped in her body. But you don't know where this old guy is anywhere in the movie. You don't see anything from his perspective.
Does he die after he kisses her?
Nope. Because she doesn't
inhabit his body?
No. It's
not
a very... Well, he does. He's in her body.
But he's in his own body, too?
No, he just kind of disappears for the whole movie.
But I mean, when he kisses her, what happens? Does he walk away?
Yes.
Not a body swap. I'm not allowing.
Well, you know what? I'm not sure what happens after he kisses her. Maybe he does just disappear. I haven't seen the movie in a long time. The movie's 26 years old.
I don't remember this movie at all, and I'm not a huge Meg Ryan fan.
Me neither.
She's a bit of a whore.
It's really.
A little bit.
I wouldn't agree with that, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't agree with that one. Shrek the Third.
You're not reading the same books about films that I am, then. Okay.
then we need to have a talk about that then, because she was like Hollywood's good girl, like perception-wise. Really? There's some good stuff.
Anyway, what was that?
Oh, text message. What? Who's texting me? I don't know who's texting me.
Shrek is a body swap comedy?
Shrek the Third. It was part of the. It's part of the hot plot. Why are you texting me?
I'm not texting you. I'm right here.
Oh God. Anyway, it's work. So Shrek the Third, the Skeleton Key. That's the one with Kate Hudson.
Yeah, but yes, yeah, but it's not. Yes, but
Hey, if you're gonna count, Face Off, you count Skeleton Key.
If you're gonna allow Face Off, I'll allow Skeleton Key.
I'm not gonna allow Face Off.
I'm not allowing Skeleton Key.
Fine. One of us is right, and we know who that is.
Me.
No, it's not you. Face Off doesn't belong anywhere near this list. The Hot Chick with Rob Schneider, which is it's a body swap.
Yeah.
It's a shitty body swap. You've already mentioned Vice Versa.
Yep.
The Shaggy Dog.
Not a body swap.
Kind of. He
turns into a dog.
A dog. Yeah.
Yeah, he turns into a dog.
Now, you know what, actually, yeah, and you know what? The new film with Kevin Spacey, 9 Lives, is also, it's a same thing. He turns into a cat.
Right.
Or does he turn into the family cat?
Yeah, but he turns into the cat. The cat doesn't go into his body. It's not a swap.
It isn't swap. That is correct. All
right.
So this is the list that I have. I'm sure there is others, but
well, that one with the chick, 18 again, or did you mention that one?
I did mention 18 again.
What's the other one? 18 going on 80?
Is there a film called 18 going on 80? It's the one with Jennifer Garner, 13 going on 30.
That's it, 13 going on 30. I got that mixed up with 18 again. Okay.
Yeah, that's not on the list, and that was one of the more popular ones. That one actually made money.
And that one's more like Big. Again, that's a variation on the theme.
It
she
is
doesn't swap body. She becomes an adult.
She just becomes an adult. Yep.
Right. But that is falling in the theme of Watermelon Man, body transmogrification.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is how we got started with the whole thing. It just Watermelon Man just made me think body swap and these types of films.
Right. So we're dealing with Like Father Like Son, 1987. Dudley Moore and Kirk Cameron, a very, very accomplished surgeon, and his son who is in high school.
Right. And his best friend, Trigger, who's played by Sean Astin, pretty much fresh off the heels of Goonies fame. And it was he did this, and then kind of...
He's a little older than Goonies in this.
2 years, but they were filming Goonies in 84.
Yeah, okay.
So this is like 3 years, so he kind of like just sprouted. That's why he looks so much older in this. But even though he has a small part in the film, I liked his character, especially when he's talking to his uncle.
Yeah,
nice talking to you,
the same old character, but he's the same old character. It's like it's your cliche best friend who's the smart ass, and he's the kind of
and believe me, there are plenty of films that have that where I don't like the best friend. He's just enough in the movie.
I was indifferent about him. He was phoning it in, and rightfully so. See, now here's the thing about the film. Now, I do want to mention briefly that when we talked about this movie last episode, we had mentioned that Kirk Cameron's in the film, and the screenwriter is Lorne Cameron. They are not related.
Right.
It is not an nepotism thing. And this was her first screenplay, and I'm not impressed with anything else on her resume.
What else does she have on there?
First Night.
Ooh, boy.
And then after that, a lot of TV stuff and direct-to-video stuff.
Oh, okay. Sean Astin, he kind of didn't do much after this until he got to a film called Toy Soldiers.
Yeah, don't forget Toy Soldiers.
Which was actually, I remember liking Toy Soldiers a lot.
No, Toy Soldiers is not a bad film. It's Die Hard in a
Kids. Like,
kids what do you call it? The military school.
Military school setting. Yeah.
Got Lou Gossett.
Lou Gossett.
Yeah. No, Toy Soldiers was not a bad film, and by that point he's like definitely into the Studley teen role there,
Right.
Mr. Aston.
Oh yeah. Well, because
Yeah.
from that point, then he gets Encino Man, and then he gets
Mm-hmm.
Rudy. So his career was actually doing pretty good, and then he gets Lord of the Rings, and he never has to work again.
Right. He buffed out between like Father Like Son and Toy Soldiers.
He actually combated with his weight a lot. He like before he got Lord of the Rings, he was actually starting to get back in shape again. And Peter Jackson told him, he goes, "Listen, if you're playing Samwise, you got to put on like 40 or 50 pounds." And he's like, "I just lost all this weight. I just like really got back in shape again." But he's like, "How do you turn down Lord of the Rings?" So
How many lives did he fucking destroy to make Lord of the Rings? Yeah. He's fattening up he's fattening up him. He's got Elijah Wood. He's beating Elijah Wood with a stick off screen every other day, so he always has that frightened look in his eyes. It's sad. It's just like Viggo Mortensen has to run screaming from the role that like actually brings him to American audiences where they pronounce his name properly now. What the fuck?
But yeah, I mean, and
Will
then
he not destroy?
Yeah, and then he got back in shape again. I mean, he's up and down with his weight, but he actually did you watch that documentary called Video Games, the documentary? There was a documentary about video games and just from the birth of video games till pretty much now. And it was
Watched the one about Atari.
Huh?
I think I watched the one that's focused more on Atari.
Yeah, well, he narrated and he did one that just is the birth to up until like last year, and it was actually really good. It was one of those crowd-funded ones, like a GoFundMe type. People donated it and they made the documentary, and he's in it, and it's actually very good. Now, my thing with this film, and I think one of the reasons why I still enjoy
we're back onto like Father Like Son.
Yeah, one of the reasons why I enjoy this film so much is just my absolute love for Dudley Moore.
Now, me too, but I don't know.
I just love Dudley Moore so much, I really do.
Now, this film was obviously made to cash in on the body swap craze that was going on. I believe Vice Versa was like the first one on the scene.
Was it the first?
I mean, in this time period. Freaky Friday, obviously, but then in this, I remember the first film I remember coming out was Vice Versa. Let me just put it that way. I haven't looked into the release dates and everything.
I'm going to tell you, Vice Versa came out in '88, so this came out first.
Really?
Yeah, so this was first. But here's the thing: this came out in '87. All of these other films that came out, like Vice Versa, came out in '88. 18 again came out in '88.
Mm-hmm. Now, and that says something to me because one of the things if you read into the making of Like Father, Like Son, this film went from conception in the boardroom, like pitching it, to in the can in like a year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this film was made quickly, and it shows in the screenplay, which I feel is extraordinarily mediocre.
Well, yeah, it's a teen comedy. Dream a Little Dream came out in '89, so they were just really banging them out.
Let's put it this way. Dream a Little Dream is a complex movie compared to this. It's just...
It pains me to agree. It pains me to agree with you.
Compared to Freaky Friday, this is a very basic by-the-books movie.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the father, here's the son. The father's responsible, the son's not. The father is very... what's the word? Because I don't have any of it.
Professional.
Self-assured. The son is very shy and awkward, and then they swap bodies, and hilarity ensues. and a lot of the stuff is very basic. All the best parts of the film are in the trailer. I'm watching the film, and I'm remembering the trailer as I go. So, oh, yeah, that part and that part. I remember seeing all those.
I've seen this movie so many times growing up. I really didn't need to watch it to do this tonight.
Actually...
But there's just so many scenes that I just like, oh, there's that scene that's coming up. It's like the whole movie, I did that.
Honestly, I didn't remember much of it because I'm a huge Dudley Moore fan. I saw this once as a kid, and I was done. I don't think I revisited this film. Maybe once. More,
this was on Cinemax constantly.
Yeah, I switched channel.
It was always on.
It's just one of those films that never captured me. And I think a lot of it just has to do with the dialogue is very plain. I mean, there's comedy. Like Sean Astin, everything he says is so just basic. Just, okay, here's the smart-ass kid. He's going to make the comments. Oh, look, he's alienated everybody by saying smart things in the classroom. It's just very, there's no real surprises to it. I'm not, and obviously, I'm not criticizing.
Yeah, no, I know where you're going, and I know what you're saying, but this isn't that kind of movie. I mean, it's just.
I know. Again, I'm not criticizing the film for not being groundbreaking, but I mean, okay, they swap bodies, and then Dudley Moore in Kirk Cameron's body, the first thing he does is he takes his credit card, and they go shopping, and then he hits like an adult bar, which I
mean, what would you do if you were 16 and then you're now 40?
All I'm saying is that for a film, it's by the book. I'm not saying bad as far as like, you're stupid. Just by the book. Just, this is what a teenager would do. Oh, this is what an adult would do in high school. Very by the book. Very straightforward.
Yeah.
And it's dull in that regard. I love Dudley Moore too, and I like his bad films too. I still like Crazy People. Not a good film, but he's great in it.
One of my favorite scenes in that movie is one of the crazy guys. They ask him what he wants, and he's like, I want a limo and a hand job. I don't know why that resonated with me, why I remembered it even to this day.
Was that Uncle Floyd?
That was not Uncle Floyd.
It wasn't? Oh, okay.
No, it was just one of the other guys.
All right.
But it's like, what do you want? I want a limo. I don't want a hand job. But it was just to be so specific that he chose hand job over blow job or even like any other form of sex. But it was just like hand job is funnier.
Two favorite parts. I know we're not reviewing Crazy People, but my two favorite parts. One part is when he's committing Dudley Moore. Paul Reiser's committing Dudley Moore, and Dudley Moore just tells him, "You're doing this because I'm short, aren't you?" I don't know. I always like that, especially because Paul Reiser's short too.
Yeah.
And the other one was when they're trying to copy what the Crazy People are doing by doing something honest. So they're having a board meeting. Says, "Damn it, tell me something honest." He's like, "I like little boys." Dead silence. Not you, asshole, about the product. I don't know. No, but here's what I mean. Like even that film had those funny little off-kilter moments.
Right.
Like this film, okay, what's the teenager gonna do home alone? He's watching MTV. Both times we see him. Kirk Cameron in Dudley Moore's body. He's left home alone for an hour. A home he's probably been alone in many, many times in his life.
Right.
And what's he do? He's like pulling a risky business. He's got the music cranked up. He's dancing on the table. It's so cliche that there's no really inspired humor in it.
I don't think I was looking for that.
I'm just explaining why the film never impressed me.
I get all of that.
That's
believe
all.
me. I think I have a soft spot for it because it is a film that I did watch a lot when I was a kid, and it's one of those scenarios where it's like, man, I'm 12 or 10, whatever it was when this movie came out. I was 11, so it's like, yeah, look at that. He swaps bodies. He gets to do cool stuff, fun stuff. He gets to drive. He gets to hit on women, and they're like, they want to hit on him back. I don't know. It's just a film I grew up with. As an adult now, I look past, and I agree with everything you're saying. I just look past it.
And here's a few nitpicky things. Now we'll get into these Scott's nitpicking.
Okay.
Now the film starts off with your basic, and I think vice versa starts the same way, where we have an origin story of how the body swap thing happens.
Right.
This old guy gets wounded in the desert somewhere, and a Native American tribe finds him, and they have this ancient technique where if somebody's injured and in great pain, instead of actually just giving them some kind of anesthesia or knocking them out, they give them a chemical that swaps their body with somebody for a limited period of time because that's easier.
Sure.
than just like knocking them out.
Right.
Moving on. So
I thought the same thing. I was just like, why don't they just tell him to bite on a fucking stick and get over it?
hit him with a rock. What the fuck?
Here, have some whiskey and shut the fuck up.
You know the fire water? Stop hoarding it. Come on.
I mean, isn't that what they used to do? They just get him drunk?
Or just hit him with a rock.
Yeah.
The Three Stooges, a hammer in the head. That's it. Bam. You didn't have to trade places with Shemp. The fuck. All right. Anyway, regardless, that sets up the tone. You meet the father and son. Sean Astin lives across the street. His uncle is the guy that was there, and he has the mind transference drug. Sean Astin steals some, and he puts it in a Tabasco sauce bottle because we all have empty Tabasco sauce bottles laying around. And Tabasco sauce is red. This bottle has clear liquid in it. Dudley Moore puts clear Tabasco sauce in his Bloody Mary. Who the fuck? I don't care how distracted you are. Clear Tabasco sauce is a warning sign. And before they swap bodies, I'm just going to burn through a couple of these.
Okay.
Here, do you have something to add to that?
No, I'm just going to let you go.
Okay. Here's the one that really bothered me. When Sean Astin brings over the mind transfer serum, they test it on a cat and dog. The cat and dog swap bodies,
which they never cure.
Yeah, they never cure that. And then never comes back later. It's like, oh, hey, we forgot to cure the cat and dog. Shit, let's make another road trip. But here, when they swap bodies, in order to display that they swap bodies, they have the cat barking and the dog meowing.
Right.
Which is physically impossible, one. And two, if that's the case, how come Dudley Moore and Kirk Cameron don't swap voices? And even if that was not a possibility, how come they don't give Kirk Cameron the fucking British accent?
You think this was all maybe tested in a boardroom, and they're like, this is not going to work?
No, I don't. I think this film was rushed to jump into. I don't know what the first body swap film was, but again, the first one out is usually
Freaky
the copy.
Friday.
This is the first one out. What?
This was. I thought you were talking about the first ever. I think this was the first mainstream one, which kicked off like 5 more.
I don't think so. This film was made so fast. I've got a feeling that I would say vice versa, or one of the other ones, or maybe more than one of the other ones, was in development, coming out. They found out. This is one of those ones.
I don't disagree with that.
Right. So this was 9 times out of 10. The first film out is the copy. We've talked about that.
Sure.
The fact that this film was made was, again, concept, screenplay, produced in like a year's time. This film was rushed out. The screenplay really feels it. So I think a lot of the stuff was just like, all right, well, you know what? We don't have time to dick with this shit because we're just making a comedy and it's getting it out there. So we're not going to, we don't care.
Even Big came out in 1988 with all the others. Mm-hmm. There's like 4 body swap movies in 1988 alone.
I would now Big. You got to imagine Big taking more than just a year to make. Big itself was probably out there. I mean, in pre-production, I'm saying stuff like that.
Yeah,
the script's out there.
They were probably filming that a whole year.
Exactly. So that's a film that was probably already in the works. With let's slam this out.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, this film has all the feelings of let's rush this out to beat everybody else. Again, honestly, I don't think it's a bad film, but it's just it's like a straight 5. It's one of those middle of the road films. It's all basic. Those nitpicky things I mentioned are just little examples of how this wasn't like this is great. Let's roll with the idea. No, it's okay. Let's fucking put this on paper and get it in the fucking can.
Yeah. No, definitely.
No one's like, well, gee, a shopping spree. That's kind of cliche, is it? And never like, no, fuck, get it done. We got Kirk Cameron. He's hot. He's in that TV show. Great. We have a name. We have Dudley Moore. He's a great comedian. By the way, this is like the last film he did before he found out he was dying of brain disease.
Oh God, really?
6 years later, dead.
That still kind of annoys me. That.
Yeah. Him too. But I think he was diagnosed just either the year or the year after this film came out.
That's awful.
Yeah, and it was just boom. it, 6 years later, gone.
Dudley
I believe he
Moore.
lived in New Jersey during his
He
last
was.
years.
He died in Plainfield, which is only about
Right.
15 minutes from here.
I
from
work
where I
in
live.
Plainfield area. Yeah, when I found out later, it's like, I found out the road he lived on. I was like, oh shit, that road is like as a one turn off away from where I worked. Yeah, I was like, shit, I would have gone and visited. No, I wouldn't have, obviously, but still.
He died, actually, are you sure it was after this film? Because he died in 2002. Like,
Maybe my numbers are off.
it's really
I
off.
read
It's like
somewhere he was
15 years
diagnosed
later.
I read he was diagnosed after this film.
Well, he might have been diagnosed. It might have just taken
All right.
a really long time to die from
I-
whatever he had.
All right, yeah, I can't I can't swear on it. I read it in one location. I didn't back it up by checking alternate sources.
It also says cause of death was pneumonia.
I'm yeah.
sure it was,
Yeah, that's what kills you when you have AIDS too. Because
no. I know. I'm not saying
Right,
that that's not how he
else.
died, but
Yeah.
it was complications from the brain disease.
Or he just liked skiing.
It was progressive supranuclear palsy.
That's why I said the brain disease.
A disease for which there is no treatment.
And no initials. If
What
it was MS, I could have just said that,
Yeah.
But no, they have to give it the long name, and then
It says he was deeply affected by the January 1995 death of Peter Cook by a gastrointestinal hemorrhage. At the age of 57, Moore organized a 2-day memorial to Cook in Los Angeles that was held in November of 95. Less than 4 years later, in September of 99, Moore announced that he was afflicted with the progressive supranuclear palsy.
All right, the information I read was completely wrong. Then I apologize.
And it says he died in Watchung, New Jersey, but IMDb says Plainfield, New Jersey. Either way, 15 minutes from my house.
Yeah. Kirk Cameron is still alive. There is no God.
Yeah. I actually just grabbed Arthur 2 on the Rocks the other day.
Yeah.
I still like that one.
Not bad.
No,
I don't think it was a bad film.
It's not great, but it's
They shouldn't have done a sequel.
no.
They seriously shouldn't have done a remake. And you know what? I a tip of the hat to
Are you talking about the English guy that did the remake?
what's his name?
No.
Bert. God damn it, Bertrand. Why
Whoa.
is my brain fucking
Russell
killing-
Brand.
Thank you, Russell
Okay,
Brand. I got
there you go.
Bertram for some reason in my head. Russell Brand, to his credit, came out and said, "Yeah, I should have done it. I shouldn't have done it, but came out. I've actually I've grown to like him more and more. And Arthur was like Arthur and get the Greek or whatever it was.
Get Him to the
that
Greek.
he did with Jonah Hill.
Get him to the Greek.
Get Him to the Greek. Yeah, those two films were like okay. I first saw Russell Brand in.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yes, and it was like I was trying not to like him, and I couldn't help but like him. I was like, "Damn it!" First,
Well-
I want to hate this guy, but I just like him, regardless.
I don't like that movie, but
Well, no, me neither. We did a bad movie episode on
we
it.
did. It was one of the first episodes we did. I think it was episode
Yeah.
2 or 3.
2 or 3. Yeah, it was like the one of the first.
But my favorite scene in that movie is where they're all at the table or dinner, and he's like, I don't want to make this awkward or whatever. Not Russell Brand, but what's his face? The guy that couldn't forget Sarah Marshall, him.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to make this awkward. And then Russell Brand, he's like, well, now it is.
No,
It was just very
delivery.
Yeah, it was just a very genuine scene. He's like, well, now it is. It's awkward
And
now.
yeah, and like I'm a big fan of his stand-up comedy and his political commentary, humorous political commentary.
Yeah, I've heard his podcast a few times. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, but it's like Arthur. It's like I still haven't seen it, and apparently he agrees with me. So, but yeah, like Arthur too. A lot of people shit on it, and I agree they shouldn't have made it, but it's not that bad. I thought they did well for a film that was never conceived of having a sequel in the first place.
Yeah.
They didn't make Arthur and think, okay, this is a franchise coming up.
No, it was like, we got $10 million and we have a spot in May that
Yeah.
we can release it in. I believe that was
Yeah.
a summer movie. I'm almost positive it was a summer movie.
Probably.
I'm going to look.
Horrible advertising. Horrible trailers.
Terrible.
Oh.
Although I don't hate the poster with him with the sign, "Can you spare 800 million or 750 million?"
Oh, I meant the first film trailers.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I hate.
Oh, that is
I
an
actually do
awful
hate that
poster. I like the original poster better than the one that they have on IMDb, which is just him with Lisa Minnelli and she's holding the top hat. It's like, no, the original one where he's holding the sign that says, "Can you spare $750 million?"
Talking the sequel.
The sequel.
Right, okay, because the original, I like the original poster with him in the bathtub.
Oh, I love that.
Even though it's a shitty poster, I still like it.
But isn't he in the bathtub in the sequel's poster too, holding a sign? Hold on.
No, he's like standing in
Or
New
is
York.
he like in a car or something?
He's like standing in New York City or something like that.
I gotta find out now.
No, and that's one of the things that keep me from trashing this film is that I love Dudley Moore, and I honestly don't think Dudley Moore or Kirk Cameron really did a great job in this film. I don't think either one accurately portrayed the other actor or character when they were playing each other. And here's something else that bothered me a little bit. So when they body swap, they have to give like characteristics to each other so that you get the feeling that there's somebody different, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the things they do with Dudley Moore is when he goes to the hospital, he's chewing gum. He starts chewing gum.
Yeah, and a lot of it.
A lot of it, and incessantly for like the first half of like the second act, or through the second act.
Then when he tries to smoke a cigarette out of whatever weird reason, where he's getting the
Not like
gum.
that.
No, I didn't mind it either. It's just he's getting so much gum stuck to the cigarette.
But my problem with it was, and I went back, I actually rewatched the first third of the film. I skimmed through it, but I wanted to confirm Kirk Cameron doesn't chew gum at all.
No.
In the first part of the film. The first part of the film it's that whole first act is setting up these two characters so we know what they're dealing with, but also how they act, because we're going to see the other actors emulating them. This character, he does not chew gum at all at any point in the first part of the film,
No.
nor does he after that part in the film. Now, yes, the character could at one point just decide to chew gum. I'll give you that. You don't have to have a reason to chew fucking gum. But in a film as thin as this, it's glaring.
It's a crutch.
Yeah, because it is. The whole thing with him making friends with his the interns, that I liked. That was okay. What I don't understand is this shy Kirk Cameron. As soon as he gets in the Dudley Moore's body, he's like this party animal.
Yeah.
I don't get that part.
He's outgoing. Arthur 2 came out July 8th, 1988. So they tried to put it in between all the blockbusters.
Uh-huh.
What came out in July? I think that was Die Hard came out in 88 in July. All right, let's go ahead and end the show then.
Yes, we shall end the show. And the next time, this is one of the few. This is like one of the last shows I'll be doing from the Wilson compound.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
So we might have a small hiatus depending on what's going on. So
I don't think we'll have a small hiatus, but we'll have a new background behind me.
Ah. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us for episode 217 of Moviesucktastic. What happened to audio? Oh, there it is. As always, thanks for joining us. Please go to our website at moviesucktastic.com and download all of our shows there. You can listen to the shows there as well. And if you want to watch the show live, which we highly recommend, it's every Thursday at 8 o'clock. You can go to iTunes as well and download the shows or listen to them there. Copy them to your favorite device. You can go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/moviesucktastic. Everything we post, from trailers to upcoming shows to anything, we post there. You can go to our Tumblr page at moviesucktastic.tumblr.com. If you want to leave us email, the address is themovieguys@moviesucktastic.com. If you want to leave us voicemail, the phone number is 908-514-4470. And you can go ahead and download the 100% free Android app. And everything I just said is in there in a nice, tidy little package. And again, totally free. If you want to do a search for us in your favorite search engine, Scott likes Google.
Google it!
You can just do a search for Moviesucktastic, and just literally everything that we have shows up just about everywhere. People are borrowing our stuff, and we think that's kind of cool. So that about does it. Do you have any words of wisdom, Mr. Wilson?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I honestly, I didn't get much wisdom from the movie we reviewed, so I'm
That's
kind of
okay.
like, yeah, I don't.
No problem.
Oh, yeah, vote for Trump.
Ew, what? We're doing that again? God. Did you hear the last thing he said, that he's going to reinstate like solar and all that stuff, and miners, and everyone's going back to work, and they're going to make $20 trillion over the next 4 decades?
Strangers in a Strange Land is coming back next week. Keep an eye out.
Something tells me that's a low number for 40 years.
Yeah, it is.
It's just a big number now that dumb people are like, oh, wow, that's pretty impressive. But over 40 years, that don't mean shit. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Strangers in a Strange Land. Google it and tune in next week.
All right, everybody. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye. Joey, we should swap bodies.
We don't have to swap bodies.
But we could. We should.
We should?
Yeah.
I'm for it.
All right.
All right, cool.